Capitol Hill now, where the impeachment trial to determine if President Trump should be removed from office appears to be coming soon. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said that she will meet with House Democrats tomorrow, as she's expected to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate this week in order for the trial to get underway. This comes as the president continues to rail against his impeachment. On Twitter yesterday, he said the trial shouldn't happen at all because writing the Senate should pursue rather an outright dismissal altogether. That's what he wrote in his tweet. CBS News chief congressional correspondent Nancy is joining me now from Capitol Hill. All right, so Nancy, President Trump was impeached nearly 4 weeks ago. Why is the House Speaker now set to send over the articles of impeachment? I know she said she wanted to get a better sense of what the rules of engagement would be in a Senate trial. Has she gotten that?
She has not, and she has pretty much taken this strategy as far as she could. She didn't get the number one thing that she wanted, which, as you pointed out, Anne Marie, is some kind of a set of details about what this trial is going to look like and how many witnesses there will be and that sort of thing. But she argues that this delay has achieved some other important things. For example, drawing attention to the fact that you need to have witnesses in a fair trial. Waiting enabled John Bolton to come forward and say that he would be willing to testify. We also got some more details about emails that went back and forth this summer between officials from the Office of Management and Budget and the Pentagon, talking about how unusual this delay in military funding for Ukraine was and expressing a lot of confusion about why it was happening. So she can argue that she has accomplished some things, but at the same time, the Senate's leader, Mitch McConnell, has made it very clear that he is not going to make any promises when it comes to witnesses. And so if she were to continue to hold out, it's not clear that she would get any further than she already has.
So then at this point, do we have an idea of how a Senate trial would proceed? What can we expect?
Well, I think what you'll first see is Pelosi naming her House impeachment managers. These are the individuals who will actually hand deliver the articles from the House to the Senate. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance. We actually get to watch them doing it. Very exciting, carrying a big stack of papers. And then these are the individuals who would actually serve as the prosecutors in this Senate trial. And that's part of the reason that Pelosi said she wanted to wait, because she argued she couldn't figure out who she was going to name as her impeachment managers unless she knew what the trial was going to look like. As she put it in sports parlance, you need to know if you're sending out your regular team or your special teams. Who do you need? What is this trial going to look like? But she's going to have to make those decisions without the benefit of knowing what the trial will look like. And then we'll probably see a couple of days of procedural measures as everyone kind of gears up for this trial. So even if she sends the articles over midweek this week, I think we probably won't see the trial officially get underway with opening statements until next week.
So you mentioned the desire that Nancy Pelosi has to call witnesses. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has been very open about how he's coordinating with the White House on this Senate trial and how his preference is to not have any witnesses at all. However, Maine Senator Susan Collins told reporters on Friday that she's working with a small group of fellow Republicans on ensuring witnesses in the trial. What more do we know about that?
Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
And so she says that she's working with a small group. She didn't say how many other Republican senators, and that is a crucial piece of information, because if there are 4 Republican senators who side with all of the Democrats in wanting to hear from witnesses, then they have the numbers they need to force that to happen, even if Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell opposes it. So it is important to know how many Republican senators feel the way she does. We know that Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Mitt Romney of Utah have said that they do think it would be important to hear from some witnesses. They haven't said how many or who, but there is a small group of Republicans who do think that it would be worthwhile. So the question is, A, how many of them, and B, how strongly do they feel about this? Are they willing to go up against the president and the Senate Majority Leader if that's what it takes to make it happen?
You know, I know the general feeling is that the outcome of a Senate trial, a Republican-dominated Senate trial, is a foregone conclusion, but I really feel like lawmakers are going to keep us on the edge of our seat until that actually happens.
Right, because with a House impeachment process, you kind of knew what it was going to look like. With a trial, all bets are off. If you don't know who the witnesses are going to be, you don't know how long it's going to last. We don't even know who the trial lawyers will be, if you will. We don't know who the impeachment managers are. We don't know what the White House counsel defense is going to look like. So there are a lot of questions, and I think this will definitely be must-see TV.
Indeed. Nancy Cordes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.